And first, before I even get started, I recorded a video a minute ago to try to do this the first time, and I heard it just start raining like crazy outside, and I was sitting there like, oh man, it's raining. I wonder if that's going to interfere with my microphone. And I was like, oh crap, my dog's outside. So I had to like stop everything and run and go get him. He was super just like soaking wet on the back porch, like staring at me through the window as I was approaching. And so I had to get him all like cleaned up and like dried off and stuff. But that's how the last take went before I started. But anyway, in this video, I'm gonna talk about cancellations. How to kind of get around cancellations. I know we've talked about some of this before in previous videos, but there's this new trick that I've been seeing people in the group talk about. And for those of you in the group, like, I love the idea of this new little trick of you guys getting around cancellation metrics and everything. So we're going to talk about cancellations, why they suck, how they happen, things like that, and this new trick towards the end about what all these people are doing that's like genius to get around it. So other than that, please like the video, subscribe, all that stuff, and let's get started. So, cancellations. When you dropship on Facebook Marketplace, customers can cancel orders, and you can cancel orders. Now, there's a metric called your cancellation rate that you don't want to fall below, or no, fall above 10%. So if you're canceling over 10% of your orders, Facebook's going to kind of start looking at you and being like, does this person suck? And then they can ban you on Facebook Marketplace if they want to. Oh, man. The collar on my shirt is like, just keeps getting like stretched out. Gross. Anyway, I can't do anything about that right now. But your cancellation rate is something you're worried about a lot more in the beginning because you're doing a lot less orders, and it's a percentage type of situation. So, I mean, if you make 10 sales and you have to cancel one of those sales, you're at 10% already. But if you're doing hundreds of sales and you're doing them all the time, canceling an order here and there doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a deal. I cancel orders every once in a while just because you get a customer who can't figure out how to cancel the order on their own, which brings me to kind of the original how you got around having to do a cancellation. Sometimes somebody will place an order and you'll go to either fulfill it or you haven't even fulfilled it yet, and they just like maybe 10 minutes later or 3 hours later and you haven't even gotten to it, a customer's like, hey, I'd like to cancel my order. Well, if you hit that cancellation button, it hurts you. That's where it goes against your metric. But if they cancel it, because on their end in the description or options section, I can't remember where it is, there's a little option for them to request to cancel. So if they request and then you accept their request, then it doesn't hurt you because they're the ones who wanted to cancel, not you. See, when you do a cancellation on your end, Facebook just assumes that you're mishandling the item or it's out of stock and you didn't realize it, so your listing was like not up to date properly, or basically it dings you because it just assumes you were the person at fault and not handling your business very well. So they don't want sellers on there that are constantly canceling orders all the time because it just doesn't look good for the marketplace in general. But if a customer cancels the order, again, that's not your fault, and it can't really be used against you to kind of paint a picture of how you handle selling on the marketplace because it has nothing to do with you. It's the customer's choice. So in the past, when somebody wanted to cancel, they'll be like, can you just cancel the order? And then you have to send them a message saying something like, and I still do this, saying something like the quickest way for you to cancel the order is to request to cancel in your option/details section in this message. And then I say, that'll be the fastest way to reverse your transaction and get your money back the quickest. So I always add that little incentive in there, that monetary incentive, so that they're like, okay, if I proactively try to figure this part out myself, then I'll get my money quicker because crap, Facebook already took my money. And apparently, they start painting the picture in their head that based on my words, that if I have to cancel it, the process is going to take way longer. So most of the time it motivates them to handle it. And even if they can't find the request option, they're a little bit more inclined to search for it more thoroughly. So that's what I do. And I found great success with that. Every once in a while, you still get somebody that's just like throws up their hands and is like, can you just cancel it? And that's the rare occasion. And I cancel it. Not too big of a deal because of the volume of orders now. Once you start doing it for a little while, again, canceling here and there is not a big deal. But that's the cancellation rate and the kind of worry about it. Some people just request to cancel on their own without actually having to ask you about it, and then that's fine. You don't even have to think about it. And also, when you cancel orders, sometimes you've already fulfilled the order, which kind of sucks. So you can actually decline to cancel an order. Like, if you ordered something from me and I already bought it, and then it's already like en route, however the hell you say it, to go to your place, and then you request to cancel, and it's like, I can't really cancel that now. So I can just straight out decline you. But what I haven't experienced, but some people have, I guess, is that if a customer really wants to get their way, they can just complain. If Facebook's going to refund them the money, and then you're out the whole thing. So you're out the profit, which isn't a big deal because it should just be a wash in a normal sense. And you're just completely out of the money you paid for the product. So you just lost everything for that order. So the best is to just, if somebody wants to return something, like say you've already sent it. I've done this a couple times, and I've told people, all right, well, it's already on its way. So once it gets there, let me know, and then I can process a return for you, and we can get that going so we can get you your refund. And people are usually very receptive to that, and I've done that 3 times, and not once has somebody actually followed through once they got the item to return it. Most of the time, I just never hear from them again. And every once in a while, I've even checked. There was a high dollar, one of those kayaks from my old videos. Somebody bought 2 of them. And she was like, oh, I actually just want one. I was like, sorry, man. Like, I already sent it to you. But I said, once you get it, do the return. And she never messaged me back. And then a month later, I messaged her like, hey, did you still want this kayak? And she's like, oh, yeah, it turns out I just ended up keeping it because I just was like, why not have an extra one? So it worked out for the best. But this new thing I've been noticing people do, which is such a good idea. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of it. So somebody wants to cancel, right? And they're just refusing to request to cancel. So still I try to get them to request to cancel. But if they just can't do it, what people have been doing now is they've just been putting in a tracking number from OA Genius or just a duplicate tracking number because it's not going to matter in the long run. The customer's not going to get anything. Just anything to make Facebook actually track the item, right? So they mark it as shipped, put in the tracking number, and then they just refund immediately the order. I don't know if they all do it immediately, but from what I understand, like I can refund an order right after I put a tracking number in. So again, I haven't done this method, but it makes sense. They put in a tracking number, mark the item as shipped, because now that means the order has basically moved on to the next step. And then they just refund it. So with a refund, you're not really liable because of the issue anyway, because now that Facebook has shown that you put in a tracking number, it shows that you followed through and handled your side of the order, which is pretty cool. And it kind of now reverts back to that whole part of the equation where, well, if a customer got something, in theory, which is kind of what we're mimicking the system to do, if the customer got the item and just decided they didn't want it and wanted to return it and you had to refund them, not really on you. So, and you can't really prove it one way or another unless Facebook like sends them like a questionnaire, like, does this item suck? Is that why you're doing it? Or was it broken or whatever? And, yeah, even then they can't prove like it didn't break during shipping. Like there's too many variables to say, well, this is the seller's fault. So it just kind of becomes a wash. You don't make any money off of it, but you don't lose any money off of it. And, yeah, now you also don't get hit on your cancellation rate because you refunded a customer in theory for just a totally normal transaction. So that's what I've been noticing. That's a new way to get around it. Hopefully I explain that where it makes sense. I know I repeat myself sometimes, and I do that because I'll notice I said something a little quick or whatever, but yeah, that's basically it. Also, out of nowhere, this is just some stupid information, I'm getting random like sales for I listed this like stupid iPhone order box that I never used like 3 months ago before I even started dropshipping. Actually, it was last year, and somebody randomly bought it this morning. I have this like Peloton water bottle that I got when I got my Peloton bike, and it like I've sold. It came with 2, and I sold 1 months ago, and this thing's been listed. I forgot about it, and it's like $20, and somebody just randomly bought it. Do you guys ever have that happen where you guys just have like actual items listed you forget about, and then it's just like out of nowhere? You don't renew things, you don't do anything, and somebody months and months later is like, I want this, and never even messages you. I love that. It's the coolest thing ever. But that's it, guys. Just that cool little new loophole and a little bit of explanation on cancellations for those of you who don't know. If you're new to my channel, please like this video and subscribe so that you can get more information when I come out with new stuff. And yeah, let me know what you guys do to avoid cancellations or experiences you had that are bad. I can't speak today. All right, guys, I will see you next time.